The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. He cares about everything that bothers you. So, see you next time.
See you next time.
£1.37 billion naira worth of tramadol intercepted at Lagos port. Ensure you get your PVC and handle it as if it is part of your life. INEC. IGP orders arrest, prosecution of skit movie makers over use of police uniform. FG fails to release 400 billion naira subsidy to discos ANED. On the foreign scene, Putin threatens frightening speed response to interference on Mayakovia heat. Kidnappers of two Nollywood stars demand $100,000 ransom from filmmakers. On sports now, Larry Noye wins first gold for Nigeria. I am Namdi Uzuku. And now here are the stories. One policeman has been killed and another injured by gunmen at a checkpoint in Bayelsa State. The gunmen were said to have attacked the offices around Fembe community in Yenogwa local government area of the state on Saturday. The motive behind the attack was yet to be ascertained, but a security source said the policemen were carrying out a routine stop and search operations in the area when they came on the ambush by the gunmen. The security source said the police patrol was sequel to intelligence indicating an increase in violent crimes along the Fembe-Ayama axis of Yenagoa suburbs. According to the security, the hoodlums in a gun duel, which forced them to escape into the bush. But the deceased officers fell to the bullets of the assailants, while another was wounded in the gunfire exchange. Now we move to Enugu. We're told that the news agency of Nigeria, NAN, that it had become necessary to make such commitment following mutual suspicion between the headers and the host community. This bad blood escalated to the point of people being attacked and killed by hoodlums, and the headers had no option than to relocate to nearby communities in Benue. He said, "I am happy that our people and members of the host communities have finally come together to bring peace and in that area. We commend Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi for creating this synergy that has brought us together to sue the sustainable peace. Without this, we will not have access to the host communities. May God continue to guide the governor until the end of his administration." Sneaky prayed. Over 10,000 members of the ruling People's Democratic Party (PDP) and the opposition All Progressive Congress (APC) in Akwa Ibom State on Progressive Party (YPP). The event, which took place in Ifat Akban, Airport Road, Uyo, had Senator Basi Albert, the former Chief of Staff to Governor Udom Emmanuel, Akbarawa Ephraim Yanaya, the member representing Ikono Ini Federal Constituency, Honorable Emmanuel Ubang Udo, and the lawmaker representing Ukono State Constituency, Honorable Asukwo Nana Udo, as well as numerous party members and party men joined the YPP. The chieftain of the YPP, Senator Ifeanyi Uba, and the state chairman of YPP, Apostle Iyemene Andy, witnessed the national chairman of the party, Bishop Comrade Emmanuel Amakri, formally received Senator Akban alongside several orders across the 31 local government areas of the state. At the event, the state chairman, who was also the gubernatorial candidate of the YPP party, announced that he was stepping down for Senator Basi Albert Akban, the national chairman of the party. In his speech, noted that the YPP had come to stay in Akwa Ibom State and urged every young progressive citizen to take their destiny in their hands. The Commissioner of Police, Delta State Command, Mohammed Ali, has decried the shortage of prosecuting personnel in the state. CP Ali stated this while speaking to journalists on efforts of the command to the state crime-free state. He said, inadequate prosecutors is one of major challenges facing the command. The number of personnel needed to go to various courts to prosecute these cases are not there. More than we received complaints from judges and magistrates complaining of prosecutors. We don't have enough of them to prosecute cases. That's why we are appealing to government to rescue more, given the statistics of various crimes within the last 1 month or 1 year in the state. Ali said over 1,760 have so far arrested from 2021 till date. Governor Ifeanyi Okowa has condemned former Lagos Governor Bola Ahmed Tinubu's attack on ex-Vice President Atiku Abubakar. The vice presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) told Tinubu that he isn't the best politician in Nigeria. The governor was reacting to Tinubu's comments that his running mate, Senator Kashim Shettima, was better. In a statement by his spokesman, Olisa Ifejika, Okowa advised all Progressive Congress (APC) candidates to leave the campaign of Kalomin. The Delta State healthman advised that Tinubu to check his record in politics in the legislature and in governance. Okowa recalled that the interview where Atiku reiterated that the APC leader wanted to become his running mate in 2007. Former Aviation Minister and APC chieftain Chief Femi Fani Kayode Ajagunla has urged Nigerian Christians not to be afraid of Islamization and marginalization in national scheme of things in the country as a result of the Muslim ticket presented to Nigerians by the ruling Progressive Congress APC. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the presidential flag bearer of the ruling party APC, had unveiled the former Borno State Governor Kashim Shettima, a Northern Muslim, in an elaborate event weeks ago, which was greeted by much criticisms, especially from the Christian Southerners and Northern APC Christian leaders, led by former Secretary to the Government of Nigeria, Babachir Lawal, and the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara. The student union, government of Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Ogbomosho, has appealed to the President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, Governor Sheyi Makinde, and security agencies to ensure the release of a final year student of the university, Rachel Opadele, from their abductors. Opadele and the owner of the hotel where she was working at Aba in the Suleri local government area of Oyo State were kidnapped by gunmen on Thursday night. She was said to be working at the hotel due to the ongoing strike action of the Academic Staff Union of Universities. The Student Union, in a statement made available to our correspondent on Sunday, pleaded with Buhari and Makinde to beef up security in the areas around the university and to do everything required to free Opadele. The statement was signed by the SUG President Ano Oluwa Adeboye, General Secretary Ibrahim Okpadeleke, and the Public Relations Officer Michael Gabriel. The abducted final year student was said to have lost her father about 3 months ago and was said to have picked up the job at the hotel to assist her mother, who was saddled with the responsibility of taking care of the family. Ahead of the 2023 general elections, a foundation member of the ruling All Progressive Congress APC, Mr. Osita Okechukwu, has posted that Northern Christians would not vote for the People's Democratic Party PDP presidential candidate, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar. The Enugu State APC chieftain said this while answering questions from journalists in Abuja on Sunday. Reacting to the Northern Christians' outrage from APC's Muslim ticket, Okechukwu, who is the Director General of Voice of Nigeria, VON, said he shares their anguish on identity politics and fears, but knows that in the fullness of time, contrary to the speculations of spin doctors, they would not vote for the former vice president. He assured that whatever marginalization the Northern Christians suffered today, they would suffer no more if the APC standard bearer, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, becomes the president in 2023. He said, "Our first slogan in APC is change. Our mantra is change. We will not remain static, never. We will change whatever is not working. All we ask Nigerians is to give us another 8 years as you gave our sister political party, the PDP." You are watching the news on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this break. Stay. Thank you for joining us back on the news. And still with all the stories, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has told Nigerians that their permanent voters' cards are their meal tickets and should be handled with care. The National Commissioner of Commission, the charge of Bauchi, Yobe, and Borno State, Major General Modibo Akili, retired, said that this while addressing voters' restraints on Sunday. Akili Nigerians to treat their PVCs like part of their lives. Ensure that you get your PVC and handle it as if it is part of your life. Don't sell it to another person because it is like your voter's meal ticket. Do you know that why it is called as, you know why it is called a meal ticket? It is because you elect the person who can work for you in your future with it. So if you sell it or you throw it away, then you are selling or throwing away food that you are supposed to eat. So I want all of you to understand that the importance of that PVC is said. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, has ordered the arrest and prosecution of skit and movie makers who use the police uniform without approval. The order was contained in a statement issued by Olumu Yiwa Adejuyi, Force Public Relations Officer. The statement also decried the illegal sale of police materials and accountment by traders in shops and other stores not approved nor recognized by the police authorities. The statement added that the IGP equally frowned at the demeaning manner in which movie makers and skit makers portray the police institution in their movies and skits, using the police uniform without recourse to the provision of the Section 251 of the Criminal Code Law and Section 133 of the Penal Code Law, which criminalize such unauthorized use with accompanying necessary sanctions. No fewer than 2,750,000 tablets of tramadol, 225 milligram, weighing 1,650 kilograms, worth 1,375 million naira, have been intercepted at the port in Lagos by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA. The consignment, packed in 55 cartons of Tampatadol and Caris Prodol types of tramadol, were seized during the examination of a container number SUDU Sudu 7538656 on Saturday, 30th July, following the credible intelligence. Director of and Advocacy Femi Babafemi, who made this known in a statement, said the interception comes on the heels of similar efforts by anti-narcotic officers at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, MMIA, occasion that thwarted bids by drug traffickers to export various psychoactive substances to London, UK, and Dubai, UAE, through the Lagos airport in the past weeks. Some individuals have been apprehended for leaking information to terrorists about troops, locations, and movements in and around Abuja. The 4 informants are in custody of a security agency. According to PR Nigeria, the arrest followed investigations into the breach of a medium security custodial center in Kuje on the night of July 5th. Also on the probe are other recent attacks in Abuja, like the ambush of army personnel, including the Presidential Guards Brigade. The suspects were caught with walkie-talkies, a revolver, knives, amulets, and old Chinese-made phones that do not use data. An intelligence officer said they are being interrogated to ascertain ties with terrorist groups, bandits, and other elements. While the military has refused to provide updates on the attacks on the Kuje prison and troops of the Bari and Zuma rock axis, the Joint Security Task Force killed more than 70 armed criminals. The operatives confirmed that those killed include dangerous Kuje prison escapees and terrorists. The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, has signed a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, with the National Institute of Transport Technology, NITT, area on research and training towards enhancing maritime safety and security in Nigeria. Dr. Bashir Jamo, the Director General of NIMASA, said on Saturday in Zaria that the MOU was hinged on research and training with a view to enhance local content and boost the quality assurance of the institute. The Director General noted that NITT and NIMASA have been together for over 3 decades. The National Youth Council of Nigeria, NYCN, has blamed the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Mr. Gordon Emefiele, for poor economic management policies for the recent free fall of the Naira. Atlantic Television Network reports that the Naira within the week depreciated on an all-time low of 730 Naira to a US dollar at the parallel market. Reacting, President of the NYCN, Comrade Solomon Adodo, stressed that statement credited to the CBN governor allegedly that the current free fall of the naira against other major currencies was a result of the non-remittance of dollars to the foreign reserve by the NNPC Limited, without heightening or highlighting the reality of the casualty of oil and non-oil related factors, including a drop of Nigeria's crude oil production, growing petrol subsidy, and unsustainable dual exchange rate system. Reduction in foreign direct investment was disingenuous and unpatriotic. The group accused Emefiele of completely failing to concentrate on its core mandate of price stability as the apex bank's governor. The persistent rise in the cost of aviation fuel, known as Jet A1, is beginning to cause apprehension in the midst or in the minds of stakeholders in the industry as they express fears that the sector may collapse and there may be huge job losses if the rise in cost is left unchecked. As of Friday, reports indicating that the Jet A1 fuel has risen from about 300 naira per litre in February to about 1,000 naira per litre, causing a significant increase in the cost of tickets. Aviation Roundtable, which is a body of professionals in the sector, said more airlines might be forced to halt operations, in addition to the 2 domestic airlines not in operations at the moment. Aero contractors had on July 18th announced the suspension of 8 operations, citing the impact of the challenging operating environment on its daily operations, while Nigerian Civil Aviation Authorities on July 20th suspended the operations of Dana Air. In an interview with one of the correspondent, a former managing director of the Nigerian Air Space Management Agency and Chief Executive Officer, Top Brass Aviation Company Limited, Captain Roland Iyaye, said government must work towards reviving the refineries for the local production of Jet A1. He added that government should consider supporting airlines in aviation fuels pricing in the short term. The Association of Nigerian Electricity Distribution (ED) has lamented the federal government failed to release 400 billion naira to the 11 electricity distribution companies, DISCO. It expressed concerns about recent restructuring of the 5 electricity distribution companies, DISCO, as announced by the Bureau of Public Enterprises, BPE, on July 5th in collaborations with the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC. Its Executive Director, Research and Advocacy, Chief Sunday Oduta, made the disclosure in a statement. However, he said, because we view the restructuring to be inconsistent with all the guidelines and processes necessary to comply with the framework of privatization and the rule of law, we believe that it is responsible to conclude that the resultant outcome has been an expropriation or a backdoor renegotiation of the DISCOs by the federal government of Nigeria, FGN, search, renationalization, or expropriation must be viewed through a historical means. Up next is international tidbits. The southern Ukrainian city of Makovia came under intense shelling in the early morning hours on Sunday, according to officers there, as Russian President Vladimir Putin used his National Navy Day to issue more military threats to anyone undermining Russia's sovereignty and freedom. Makovia Mayor Olanzeka Zanskevia said cluster munitions were blowing out windows and destroying balconies. Makovia was on the mass shelling today, probably the shortest of the old time, he said in a statement. A CNN team on the ground heard the explosions caused by the strikes and saw fires that broke out in the shellings. Residents interviewed by one of the international media also said it was shellings in the city since the start of the war. At least 1 person was killed and 2 others in the attack, according to the Vitaly Kims, head of Makovia Regional Military Administration. U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is heading to Asia for a tour of the region after landing in Hawaii, where she visited the Pearl Harbor Memorial and the USS Arizona Pelosi in leading a congressional display delegation to the Indo-Pacific and plans to visit places including Singapore, Malaysia, South Korea, and Japan, according to the statement released by her office on Sunday. The statement made no mention of Taiwan, despite speculations in recent days that Pelosi might be planning to visit the self-governing democracy of 24 million people, China's Communist Party, which claims Taiwan as part of its territory, despite never having controlled it, has warned against Pelosi visiting the islands, and U.S. President Joe Biden recently let lips that the U.S. military thinks such a trip would be a good idea right now. However, U.S. lawmakers on both sides of Washington's political divide have urged her to go. Today, a congressional delegations travels to Indo-Pacific to reaffirm America's strong and unspeakable commitment to our allies and friends in the region, Pelosi said the statement released by her office. Lawrence House, the residence of Prince Charles, has disputed claims reported in the UK's Sunday Times that the heir to the throne brokered a deal in 2013 to accept £1 million charity donations from Osama bin Laden's half-brothers. The Sunday Times, citing unnamed sources, reported that Prince Charles accepted the donations from Bak bin Laden and Shafik bin Laden, the Prince of Wales Charitable Fund, PWCF, despite objections from key advisors at the time. Clarence House disputed that the assertion on Saturday, saying the decision to accept the money was made by charity's trustees and not Prince Charles. You are still watching the news on Atlantic Television Network. Up next is entertainment stories. Crystal Smith, wife of American singer and songwriter Neil Young, on Sunday announced that she has officially broken up with the R&B artist. In a statement on her Instagram page, the mother of three stated that for 8 years of the marriage, she had shared her husband with numerous women who sell their bodies to him unprotected. She stated that she will no longer lie to the public or pretend that their marriage was working. Krista wrote 8 years of lies and deception, 8 years of unknowingly sharing my life and husband with numerous women who sell their bodies to him unprotected, every last one of them. Kidnappers of two Nollywood stars, Cynthia Okereke and Clemson Connell, aka Agbogidi, have demanded $100,000 ransom for their release. The ransom demanded came 24 hours after the members of the Actors Guild of Nigeria, AGN, were kidnapped in an Enugu suburb. According to the AGN National President Emeka Rolas, the actors' abductors have contacted their families from the ransom. He said the kidnappers have made contact with the families and are demanding the sum of $100,000. We pray for God for his intervention and for him to put confusion in their midst. We are almost working closely with the different security operatives, but we are not sure what to expect from them because the same thing is happening everywhere in the country. On to sports now. UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman is set to add acting to his skills after bagging a role in the upcoming Black Panther movie from the Disney and Marvel Studios. The extent of Usman's role and what character he plays in the Black Panther Wakanda Forever are yet to be ascertained, but the movie is set to premiere on November 11th. Usman is a huge fan of the comic book superheroes and dating back to 2018 has shown interest in being a part of upcoming flicks. MMA Junkie confirmed the news of Usman's involvement through manager Ali Abdulaziz after UFC Hall of Famer Daniel Cormier mentioned it during the UFC 277 welterweight weigh-in show Saturday morning on ESPN. Team Nigeria has gotten its first gold medal of the 2022 Commonwealth Games through the weightlifter Olarinoyo Adenike Adejat. Olarinoyo on Saturday evening recorded 92 kg in the 55 kg women's snatch event in weightlifting at the ongoing Birmingham 2022 Commonwealth Games to hand Nigeria its first gold medal of the Games. England cyclist Joe Truman was knocked unconscious following a horrific crash when riding at 45 mph in the Kremlin. Truman suffered a broken collarbone in the collision with 25-year-old sent flying on final lap of the Kremlin semi-finals after riding into Australia Matthew Gessett, who had tumbled in the deck in front of him. Truman had nowhere to go when Gassel touched wheels with Kremlin in the second round of the event, sending the Englishman flying straight over the top of Aziz at 45 miles per hour behind, slamming into the hard-flowing 25-year-old initially laid motionless in the infield of the velodrome as medical staff rushed to his aid. Upcoming regaining consciousness, the stricken rider was helped away in a wheelchair, receiving oxygen and transferred to the hospital for treatment on his collarbone and head scan. Karim Benzema converted an early penalty and Mocha Arsenio added the second half insurance goal as Real Madrid beat Juventus 2-0 in a pre-season friendly at California's Rose Bowl on Saturday. With his eye on Real Madrid's European Super Cup clash with Eintracht Frankfurt in 10 days, coach Carlo Ancelotti stated that same lineup that beat Liverpool in the Champions League final in May. They produced the first victory of Real Madrid's United States tour after a 1-0 loss to a La Liga rival Barcelona on Las Vegas and a 2-2 draw against the Club American in San Francisco. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. 1.37 billion naira worth of tramadol intercepted at Lagos Port. Ensure you get your PVCs and handle it as if it is part of your life. INEC. IGP orders arrest, prosecution of skit movie makers overuse of police uniform. FG fails to release 400 billion naira subsidy to discos. ANED. Putin threatens lightning speed response to interference in Makovio heat. Kidnappers of 2 Nollywood stars demand $100,000 ransom for filmmakers. Olarinoye wins first gold for Nigeria. Thanks for joining us all through. I am Namdi Uzuku. You can follow us on all our social media handles. Twitter at Atlantic TV Net. Facebook and YouTube is at Atlantic Television Network. Instagram is at Atlantic TV Network. Remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Wonderful evening to you.
The people make the difference in our time on ATN Icons. Here, we present you legends celebrated for their heroism in different fields and serve as role models today. ATN Icons, showing every Sunday 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes DTH channel 194, ATN Live on Google App Store, Atlantic Television Network, YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram, Atlantic TV Network, Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. For sponsorship, 081 1777. ATN Icons.